welcome back to my channel. My name's Kat, great to have you here. As you can see from the title, today we're going to be doing a chatty speed paint. Got the speed paint going and we're just gonna chat. No video footage of my face again today. You might be able to tell from my voice, I'm trying very hard to project so it doesn't sound awful, but allergies are kicking my butt this season for some reason, and I just really hope I don't sound sick because my throat's a mess, my eyes are so itchy, my nose is running. I look not great. So we're just gonna chat. I've got some stuff we're gonna talk about and let's just hang out. Feel free to draw along. First thing, let me just give you some context for what we're gonna be drawing today. This is a speed paint of my OCs, my original characters. These characters are from a different story than the characters I used for my character design tutorial. I'll get more into the story and the characters and the setting and the context behind the photo, but first I want to share a bit of a life update with you guys. Because it's really thanks to you that my channel is currently in the process of being monetized. If you saw my 2021 goals video, looking back on that video now, there's definitely some goals that are just probably not gonna happen this year for a variety of reasons, especially on the shop front. My next video will be talking about mistakes I made starting my Etsy shop, so that's coming in 2 weeks. Get hype, I guess. But anyways, my goal was to be monetized by the end of 2021, and it is May, and I'm currently in the process of getting monetized, and it's so crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys for watching my videos, and if I could give all of you a hug, I would. Thank you so much for subscribing, it means the world. So if you're familiar with how Google AdSense works, I'm basically just waiting for them to verify my address. And then I can start putting ads on my videos. If you want an easy and free way to support my channel starting in a couple weeks when everything's verified, feel free to watch the ads on my videos. If you don't skip them, I actually get a little bit of a cut from it. Up to you if you'd like to. I would really appreciate it, but I'm not expecting to be making any bank, let's just put it that way. But anyways, back to the art. So this is, as you can tell from the speed paint, I did this on Procreate. So brushes I used, because I know some of you are gonna wanna know, I used the 6B pencil for the vast majority of things. For line art, I have a version of the 6B pencil that I duplicated and I just made more dense. At times for details and things, I use the dry ink brush. Sometimes for shading, I use the default airbrush splatter brush. You know what? I'm not gonna be lazy. I'm gonna find out what it's called. One second. Okay, the airbrush I used is called the Airbrush Dual Heavy. For the freckles that are coming up, I use the Airbrush Grainy Nozzle. And for the gouache, oh shoot, I don't know what pack this came from. It's called the Gouache Wash Buildup. If I can figure out what pack it came from, I will link it, but it's just a painting brush. I'm pretty sure an airbrush would do the exact same thing. The working placeholder title for this is, forgive me, it's Dark Royal Academia, which is basically a hodgepodge of words that I used to describe the aesthetic when I was first kind of coming up with the idea. It takes place in a fantasy world, so unlike Hogwarts, there's no muggle world, there's no magical world, it's just all magic. But because there is magic in this world, they've actually advanced the technology level to around the 1970s. So on one hand, you have the usual royal core, fantasy stuff with the kingdoms, the balls, the royalty, the noble families, and then you have this extremely accelerated advance in technology that has given people cars, has given people magical electricity basically. So aesthetically that's really fun for me to be able to play around with the royal aesthetic as well as the 1970s disco aesthetic. So all of these characters are first years in college. Similar to our world, they finish high school, they apply to their colleges, they have their first picks, they go there, but the difference is because all the technology in this world and the entire workforce basically is dependent on magic, all the colleges teach magic courses. College they're going to, right now it's called Beaufort College of Magic, whatever. I don't like that, it's a placeholder name, I'm gonna change it. They're definitely trying to cling to the old ways The uniforms are very traditional. But on the weekends, these kids like to go out onto the town and party the night away in roughly 1970s disco attire, because that's the trendy fashion at the time. So this photo was meant to be like a photo booth, you know, some getting pushed into other people. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's a really roundabout way to describe the world and the aesthetics. It's basically Hogwarts is a college in a kingdom where magic technology has pushed the new trends to the 1970s. That's the straight and narrow of it. So quickly, let's talk about the characters a bit. The main character is this one. Boop. I'm gonna put it up. Her name's Kenza. I'm gonna start with her because she's the most complicated. She is part of a group of people who are marked. They have the runes on their neck that stops them from practicing magic. It blocks their magic. And the reason for this is because like a whole city tried to rebel against the kingdom a couple generations ago, and as a punishment, all of them were marked and all of their children are marked as well. And we're now a couple generations after this, and marked people are living in significantly worse conditions with significantly less resources and little to no access to magical devices that help them in day-to-day, like just everyday technology. So that's where Kenza's from. Not to give away too much of the plot, but she's one of the only marked students that have actually gone accepted into a magical university. She's now in a college with a bunch of very rich, very privileged people. But she does find these people, and they become very good friends, obviously, through plot shenanigans. And her main motivation for wanting to go to the college is because if you practice magic, your rune gets deactivated. You can use magic, obviously. It's very, very difficult for someone who is marked to get accepted into a college, but the reason Kenza wants to go is because her town has no magical healers, and she wants to become a healer to help her town. Then we have Beau, she's the redhead. Now they all have names, but when I'm first writing a story, I usually put in placeholder names that are just like the initial concept for the character. And her name in my manuscript for the longest time was Baby, because that was my shorthand for her. She's very kind and just pure. She's very friendly and emotional and loving, and she's one of the first people that Kenza actually connects with, because being around Beau, you can't help but take your guard down. She's just so genuine in everything she does. Sometimes this can lead to people taking advantage of her, but she has a good head on her shoulders and good people around her that keep her in check. Next up we have Val, who has been very, very close friends with Beau all throughout their childhood. She's technically this universe's version of a princess. Her brother is the reigning king of the kingdom right now. She is referred to as a princess, but in this world the kingdom works a little differently. Essentially, her name was just never put forward as a candidate to rule, and so she is free to do as she pleases, really. And what she chooses to do is go off to college and have her rebellious face. She might be a little prickly on the outside, but she cares very, very deeply about her friends. And she isn't really very used to other people trying to help her or care for her, which is why when Kenza starts to, she doesn't really know how to deal with that. Up next, we have Alessi. Alessi is very sweet, but a little bit dumb. Golden retriever energy. A little bit of a fuckboy. He's just here to have a good time. He is just full of energy. He's trying to live life to the fullest. And he has a very, very complicated on-again, off-again thing with Val that has been going on since they were kids. Okay, next is Niren. Niren has a bit of a god complex. He's very clever, very smart. And he was raised along with Manelli, who's essentially the team dad. He's very stoic, very self-reliant, doesn't express emotions very well, and it's really only when he's around Niren and the rest of his friends that you can actually see him open up a little bit. Now, because I'm a sucker for a good color-coded cast of characters, I made the magic system so that each different kind of caster has a different color. And is it a little bit unrealistic that every single one of these characters have a different casting color? Yes, but that doesn't matter, because now I have my blue character casting blue magic, and my purple character casting purple magic, and so on and so forth. I'm really happy with how this drawing turned out. It's been so long since I actually sat down and spent a lot of time just really polishing a drawing. So now I turn it over to you. Did you enjoy this kind of speed paint talking video? Would you like to see more? If I do more, what would you like me to talk about? And more generally, what kind of videos would you want to see from me next? If you made it to the end of this video and you liked it, feel free to leave me a like, subscribe. Some videos should be popping up now that you should definitely watch next. And check out my Instagram at Miss Katarina T for art that you're not going to see here. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. I love you all. Mwah. And thanks for watching.